veterans, transition service members, military members, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Off the Battlefield podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about new VA presumptive conditions up to date as of November 2025. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, share this out with someone that can use this information. I am a veteran serving veterans to get the education, resources, and benefits that you deserve because you have served this country and you matter. And just know that you matter to me. And I hope and pray that you continue to fight for what you have earned and deserve for your service to this country. Okay. If you have not voted today, the recording of this video is election day. Go out and vote. Go out. It's one of your rights. You've served this country. Go out and do that. So let's get right into this. The VA is constantly updating its presumptive list for VA disability benefits. Okay. They're adding new things all the time. It's important that you stay up to date. That's why I'm making this video, right? I served in a PACT Act area. If you have, it can be the key to unlocking disability benefits that you've rightfully earned for serving our country. Okay. The PACT Act, I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, is one of the largest, most significant expansions of VA healthcare and disability benefits in the history of VA healthcare benefits, right? This landmark legislation is designed to ensure that veterans exposed to toxic substances during their military service receive the care and compensation that you guys deserve, right? So some of the things I'm going to touch today are that the VA, in case you do not know, they frequently update its list of presumptive conditions for disability benefits. So let me digress a minute. What are presumptive conditions? Were you in a PACT Act area? You can Google that and find that out. Were you in Afghanistan, the Middle East, Iraq, Kuwait, Vietnam? Were you in a area that is considered a PACT Act area location? And do you have one of the conditions on the PACT Act list? That is very, very important to understand. And you can prove that you were in a certain area, even if you don't have medical records, a lot of times by your DD 214 as well. So that's a tip. It's going to say, you were in Afghanistan from 2010 to 2011. Or you were in Vietnam, or even your medal, a Vietnam service medal, or, Operation Enduring Freedom, any of those things, some of those awards can prove that you were in a certain area as well, too. So if you are in a certain area and you have a certain condition that is on the PACT PACT Act condition list, make sure that you understand that, make sure that you know that. You need to stay up to date on it because you may qualify for something and it may get you over the hump, maybe to 100%, or get you more benefits that than you currently have now. The PACT Act, again, like I said, was a historic legislation that expanded VA healthcare and disability benefits for veterans exposed to toxic substances during service, covering various conditions linked to specific exposures. Again, to qualify for a presumptive condition, veterans must demonstrate that they served in a qualifying location and time frame associated with known toxic exposures and subsequently develop one of the approved conditions. The PACT Act organizes conditions into 23 categories or buckets, covering over 330 specific health issues ranging from respiratory diseases to various cancers, streamlining access to disability benefits for veterans. So, what is the PACT Act? It's a law that expands healthcare and disability benefits for veterans who are exposed to toxic substances like burn pits during their military service. It simplifies the process, so you don't need to have things in your active duty medical records necessarily. It is helpful for veterans to receive disability benefits by automatically assuming certain conditions are related to their service, making it a lot easier for you to get the care and compensation that you need. However, if you are going to claim something, here is a key tip. Make sure that you have an up-to-date diagnosis. Make sure that you're continuing to get care for that condition. I hope you don't have a cancer. That's some of the new things, some of the top 5 conditions added. I hope that you don't have cancer, but if you do, you need to apply and you need to get the benefits that you need to submit in a claim. You need to get the benefits that you have earned and deserve for your service to our country. Okay, it makes it easy. It's not always easy to get the PACT Act approved benefits, but make sure that you have an up-to-date medical records, treatment, and make sure that you are, up to date with a clinical diagnosis and submit that in as well too. Don't just assume that I was in a PACT Act area location. I don't need to submit anything else. I'm good to go. So, what is a presumptive VA disability? Again, I'm going to keep reiterating this. It is one that the VA presumes to be service connected, even if there's no specific nexus, meaning link or connection for service connection. Presumptive disability works like this. If you served at, let's call it Afghanistan during the qualifying period and developed this condition, let's call it sinuses as a result, then because you served in Afghanistan and you have sinuses, you get service connection. I'm not going to say automatic because it doesn't always work that way. You need, if it's sinuses, I'm using sinuses, for example, make sure that you show the medications that you're on, any proof that you have, make sure that you're making complaints and make sure that it's in your records. So instead of having to prove a service connected disability, you only need to show on your DD 214 that you're in an eligible location during a specific period and that you developed a qualifying condition as a result, right? I also absolutely recommend that you write and submit a strong personal VA statement in support of claim on a 214138, right? Lay evidence can also be helpful in filling in any gaps in service or personal records, buddy statements, or anything like that. But treatment, write a personal statement, okay? Don't just throw it up and tell them to look at your DD 214 and assume you're going to get approved, okay? So here are the 23 buckets of conditions in the PACT Act, okay? The PACT Act introduces 23 distinct categories of presumptive conditions, each encompassing a broad range of illnesses related to toxic exposure during service. These categories are buckets group conditions by the type or the area of the body they affect, covering everything from respiratory issues to various cancers. Within these 23 categories, there are more than 330 specific medical conditions that the VA now recognizes as presumptive. For example, within the respiratory cancers category, you'll find various types of lung cancer, as well as related conditions like bronchial carcinoma and laryngeal cancer. Although the VA refers to 23 general categories, the actual scope of covered conditions is pretty extensive, ensuring comprehensive coverage for veterans with a wide range of service-related health issues. List of new VA presumptive conditions, right? Again, the VA regularly updates its list of presumptive conditions, and here are some new ones. The first one is hypertension, high blood pressure, recognized as a presumptive condition for veterans exposed to Agent Orange and other toxic substances, making it easier for affected veterans to claim benefits. Remember, they're going to still give you a systolic and diastolic reading of your blood pressure. It's going to depend on those numbers. So if you're having a good day and it's not much, you may not, if your numbers ain't reading right, you may not get it. I just want to be perfectly clear about that. But again, it is easier if you're exposed to Agent Orange and other toxic substances to get hypertension. Now, that is on the presumptive condition, right? The next one is known as MGUS. It's monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance. It's basically a blood disorder is what it is, which can lead to more severe conditions like multiple myeloma, which I hope none of y'all have, which is now presumptive for veterans exposed to toxic chemicals. But again, make sure that you're diagnosed, make sure that you have treatment with that, make sure that you submit in everything that you can, and make sure that you let people know make sure that you let the raters know how you're impacted occupationally and socially. Also, male breast cancer, an increasingly recognized cancer linked to toxic exposures, now included under the presumptive conditions. I don't know anyone that's got male breast cancer, but if you do, it is a presumptive condition, okay? And I hope that you don't. The next one is urethral cancer, recently added as a presumptive condition, particularly relevant for veterans exposed to harmful substances, okay? And cancer of the Paraurethral glands, under specific cancer type added to the presumptive list due to emerging evidence of its connection to military service and to toxic exposure. So a lot of it is cancers. You've got MGUS and you've got high blood pressure. The MGUS is a blood disorder. And I hope none of you guys have any cancers at all. Oh, God forbid, I don't want that. But these are added. This is important for you to know. This list will be in the description of this video. The most current list of conditions covered under the PACT Act for presumptive VA disability benefits are various cancers, from brain, ear, and eye cancers, mouth, neck, and throat cancers, skin cancers, nose and nasal cancers, sarcomas, spinal cord cancers, gastrointestinal cancers, kidney cancers, lymphomas, melanomas. You have respiratory cancers, bronchial cancers, laryngeal cancers, lung cancers, many cancers, which I hope none of you guys have. Those are a lot of big things on the presumptive list, but I really don't want you guys to have that. But if you do, you can file a claim for it. Non-cancer conditions related to respiratory issues, asthma, bronchitis, COPD, chronic rhinitis, and sinusitis, right? Constrictive bronchiolitis and obliterative bronchiolitis, emphysema, granulomatomus disease, ILD, interstitial lung disease, pleuritis, pulmonary fibrosis, sarcoidosis. Those are non-cancer conditions related to respiratory issues. Contaminated water presumptive conditions are adult leukemia, aplastic anemia, and other myelodysplastic syndromes, bladder cancer, kidney cancer, liver cancer, multiple myeloma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's disease are contaminated water presumptive conditions. If you were at Camp Lejeune, Agent Orange presumptive conditions under the PACT Act are various cancers, Hodgkin's disease, multiple myeloma, chronic B-cell leukemias, prostate cancer, respiratory cancers, soft tissue sarcomas, etc. Then you have non-cancer conditions, hypertension. Like I just said, that was one of the new 5 that were added here recently. Parkinson's disease, type 2 diabetes. You've got respiratory conditions from burn pits and toxic exposures. Again, asthma, bronchitis, rhinitis, sinusitis, sarcoidosis, etc. Additional conditions presumed due to Gulf War burn pits or other toxic exposures are also asthma, rhinitis, sinusitis. Those are very common ones. Brain cancer, bronchitis, COPD, sinusitis, sarcoidosis, etc. And then you've got other conditions related to environmental exposures, hypertension, bladder cancer, birth defects such as spina bifida in children of certain Vietnam or Korean War veterans related to Agent Orange exposure. So look, if you have family members as well too, there are birth defects, like I just said, such as spina bifida, that are included in the PACT Act as well too. So you've got many conditions. It's important that you understand what these conditions are. So again, the new 5 conditions that were added: hypertension, myoclonal, gammopathy of underdetermined significance, MGUS, which is a blood disorder, male breast cancer, urethral cancer, cancer of the Paraurethral Glands, which is another specific cancer type added to the presumptive list due to emerging evidence of its connection to military service and toxic exposure. So in this video, I really hope this helps you, but those are some new things that are added. If you've got high blood pressure or something, file. We understand what the PACT Act is. We understand what to do to get a presumptive condition approved. We understand the new 5 conditions added to the PACT Act list, and that the VA is continually updating the PACT Act list all the time. So it's very, very important to understand this and to stay up to date. That's why I make videos like this. I really hope that this video has helped you today. I hope that it's educated you to get the benefits that you have served, earned, and deserve. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for tuning in today to another episode of the Off the Battlefield podcast presented by Veterans Claim Servants. Today, thank you for tuning in. These were the new VA presumptive conditions to date that have been added to the presumptive list. Thank you for your service to our country. Till next time, I'm out.